The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher.
17 News is your local election headquarters, and it is official now. State Senator Melissa Hurtado is running for Congress. We first reported last week that she was expected to run, but now Hurtado has officially registered a statement of candidacy with the Federal Election Commission office. She is challenging the seat currently held by Hanford Congressman David Valadao. However, Hurtado has yet to make a formal announcement about her campaign.
Bakersfield business owners, a husband and wife, are facing felony charges. They're accused of underreporting more than $4 million in payroll. Brian and Leslie Hill have been charged with multiple counts of insurance fraud and conspiracy. The state launched an investigation into Brian Hill Construction after receiving information that the company paid an employee with a combination of check and cash, and that the cash pay was not reported. The Kern County District Attorney's Office is prosecuting.
Businesses in downtown Bakersfield may get some relief from the vandalism that has plagued their businesses for many years. The city announcing a grant program for business security. It is intended to help small businesses cover security measures and fix damage. 17 Cecilia Trevino reports on how some business owners are waiting for this kind of help.
Violating and horrible. It's been a tragedy.
Words Chris Ludwig uses to describe how it's felt to be a business owner in downtown Bakersfield. With vandalism hitting businesses repeatedly, Ludwig says she has seen it all.
I've been here for almost 25 years. I would say the last 2 years have been the worst. This year, since November, we've been hit 8 to 10 times.
The Business Security Improvements Grant program by the city of Bakersfield, aimed at assisting businesses and nonprofits recover from vandalism and avoid future incidents. From alarm systems, security cameras, and lighting to smashed window repairs, businesses can receive up to $5,000. However, not every business in the city qualifies.
They are our lower income neighborhoods, and that's how they're identified by the U.S. government. Because these are federal funds, we follow federal guidelines.
Chris Ludwig says this is still not the light at the end of the tunnel.
I don't really see it that way. I think it's just right now a Band-Aid until we get the real issues resolved. It's going to help, but it's not going to solve it.
Ludwig says the losses in her business have long passed the $5,000 mark, with just her window broken costing $3,500. Those qualifying are businesses within the map, have fewer than 500 employees, and a business license with the city of Bakersfield. After you send your application, staff has 20 days to review it, and if approved, a check will be sent within the next 30 days.
The fund has a total of $500,000 allocated for this program. You can find more information on our website, kget.com, and click on this story.
Making news around the nation this morning, the House Oversight Subcommittee on National Security held a highly anticipated hearing yesterday on UFOs. Testimony from 3 former members of the military and intelligence communities all claim UFO sightings have been underreported. One told the panel he had knowledge of a multi-decade UFO retrieval program. The other 2 say they've both spotted UFOs and are calling on Congress to help remove the stigma associated with reporting such sightings and make the reports more transparent and available to the public.
Hunter Biden's legal team is re-strategizing this morning after his expected plea deal hit a speed bump yesterday. The son of the president pleaded not guilty when the deal fell apart. It was derailed over issues concerning the gun charge he's facing, when the judge raised questions about the terms of the agreement. The surprise development came at a hearing in federal court, where Biden had been expected to plead guilty to 2 charges of failure to pay taxes and agree to enter a pretrial diversion program over the gun charge. This was under a deal he struck with the government last month. The parties will reconvene at a future date, which could be within the next 6 weeks.
Meantime, former President Donald Trump's legal team is preparing for a possible indictment as early as today. There's no official word from the Department of Justice, but given Trump's receipt of a target letter more than a week ago and public reporting that the grand jury is scheduled to reconvene today, Trump's camp is taking steps to prepare. Trump has claimed that he is the victim of prosecutorial misconduct and an effort by the Department of Justice to interfere with the 2024 election.
Making headlines around the state this morning, and writers and now actors have been protesting in Hollywood for about 3 months. And now Governor Gavin Newsom is saying this has gone on long enough. The governor now stepping into the spotlight, hoping he can orchestrate a blockbuster deal to bring an end to the Hollywood strikes that are threatening California's entertainment industry and its economy. Newsom and members of his administration have been in touch with all sides of the strikes. But so far, actors, writers, and studio executives have shown no formal interest in bringing Newsom to the table.
More reaction from the White House after former Tehachapi resident and U.S. Marine Trevor Reed was hurt fighting in Ukraine. 17's Washington correspondent Rashad Hudson has the latest.
The federal government is reiterating their warning discouraging Americans from fighting in the war in Ukraine, saying if they were to travel to fight, they wouldn't be guaranteed their safety. U.S. officials are not happy Trevor Reed, a Marine veteran who was detained in Russia for 3 years, would risk being recaptured while fighting in Ukraine.
Choosing to participate in the fighting there has very real risk of capture, of death, of bodily harm.
The State Department said little about the severity of Reed's injury. We do know he was transported out of Ukraine by a non-governmental organization.
We have been incredibly clear, warning American citizens, American nationals, not to travel to Ukraine.
U.S. officials also stressed that his activities were not on behalf of the U.S. government.
We are not in a place to provide assistance to evacuate private U.S. citizens from Ukraine.
There's a concern that Reed's actions could hurt efforts to bring Paul Whelan and Evan Gershkovich, a Wall Street Journal reporter detained since March, back home. But the White House says their focus remains the same.
The team certainly continues to pursue every avenue to bring home Evan, to bring home Paul.
It's unclear as to how many Americans have volunteered to fight in the war in Ukraine. Reporting in Washington, Rashad Hudson, back to you.
Turning to our 17 follow-up file now, and an arrest has been made in connection to a hammer attack at a Bakersfield Costco last year. It happened at the Costco on Rosedale Highway. The man and woman are accused of stealing several bottles of alcohol. When they were confronted by a worker, one of the suspects hit her on the head with a hammer, resulting in permanent traumatic injury. BPD says that suspect, identified as Colin Stracker of Lancaster, was arrested in Texas back in May on numerous charges including attempted murder. Stracker was extradited to Kern County.
17 Court Watch now. A man acquitted of murder in 2007 is now on trial for a different slaying in 2021. Prosecutors say Darnell Pierce ran an illegal internet casino with a business partner. That business partner is accused of owing Pierce money. So one day, Pierce walked up to his car, got in the passenger seat, and shot him in the face, allegedly. That's according to prosecutors. In court yesterday, Pierce's attorney reserved her opening statements until after the prosecution rests.
Turning to a story we have been covering for years now, the Bakersfield 3. About 5 years ago, 3 friends were either found dead or went missing, all within the span of a month. We first reported on Sunrise yesterday that more human remains from one of the victims have been discovered in East Kern County. 17's Michaela Armstrong reports what's next for the family.
Since the death of Michael Holsenbeek in March 2018, remains of his body have been found throughout the years, taking a toll on a family still grieving their loss.
We want to bring Micah home.
We want him.
But bringing him home one piece at a time is just
horrible.
unbearable. And it could last for years. And because every time there's something else found, it's a good thing, but it's also very difficult.
Maybe in 5 years there will be a foot or an arm. I mean, this is going to go on for a long time.
Proving prophetic. In 2021, boys playing in the Kern River found holes in Bake's arm months after his death, and a girl located a bag containing his skull. Now, according to Micah's father, Lance Holsenbake, another body part has been found near Maricopa, more than 42 miles east of Bakersfield. Holsenbake says on Facebook, search crews found a vertebrae lying on the ground last year, and just a few weeks ago, DNA testing confirmed it belonged to Micah. The coroner also confirmed it belonged to Micah as well. Last year, Matthew Queen was convicted of murder and was sentenced to 30 years to life for Micah's death after he admitted he helped cut up his body, scattered the remains across Kern County, and apologized to the family.
I do have a heart, and for what it's worth, my heart goes out to you.
Queen also alleged it was his ex-girlfriend Bailey Despot, who is still missing, who killed Holsenbake, and that he tried to protect her.
I'm not the monster you were led to believe I was. No matter how hard they tried or how hard they wanted to be right, they were wrong.
However, with the latest body part found, though Despot still has not been found, the family says they do not have any plans to move forward to look for justice, stating in reality there can be no real justice or closure, and says that now may be the time to bury what they have of their son and place his headstone in the cemetery.
Michaela Armstrong, 17 News.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.